Hi, so today we have a little bit of TikTok drama, which fun, super lighthearted. We love this. And subscribe with the bell icon for engagement. Let me get comfortable. So today's drama is between Sophia LaCorte and Halley Kate. Now, while I was planning this whole video, because I don't really watch these two women on TikTok, I kept on getting their names confused, and I thought Sophia was Halley and Halley was Sophia. Not that they look the same, but they're just like TikTok girlies, and I was really struggling hard. So they're these two girlies. One's on like 1.2 million followers and one is on about 800k. So they're both big. They do this as a full-time job and they happen to know each other. They run in the same circles. They're both New York City influencers, and because everyone gets kind of split up, there's like Miami influencers and there's LA influencers and there's New York influencers. There's like a whole ecosystem, right? And then there's like Europe, and that becomes its own ball game essentially. So you might know one of these girls. If you don't know both of them, you might know one of them by accident, and it would be Halley, only because she was known for two situations, right? One, she bought a car and a house in the same day, and the house was in the Hamptons, and the car was a Range Rover, brand new. They took off the like protective cover, and it was just a brand new Range Rover, okay? And so people were like, oh my god, I need to start influencing like yesterday. And everyone started posting TikToks. There was like an influx in people starting TikTok accounts and posting get ready with me's. Let me show you guys that one.
I was on the house this morning. Now it's time to buy a car, because I gotta get between the city and the Hamptons somehow. I've never had my own car in my entire life. I just drove my parents' car when I was in high school, and then I moved straight to the city. I'm kind of nervous. I'm pretty sure I know what kind of car I want, but we'll see when we get to the dealership. We're here. Oh, hello. I'm a terrible negotiator. Is that it?
There will be a few more.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And she was also, earlier on, and this is a story that I actually covered a while back, and that's how I recognized her, she was also punched on the streets of New York. So now I'm laughing at that. That was like too serious for me to laugh at that. That was ridiculous. She was punched on the streets of New York by a random guy, and then a bunch of other girls came out and also spoke about the fact that they were punched on the same day by the same guy. Some of them were also influencers. So it became this whole like thing of, are these guys targeting, well, this one guy, is he targeting like influencers? Is he targeting just like women in New York who stand out in the crowd? Like, no one knows. But this was one of the videos from when she got punched on the streets of New York, and that might ring a bell for you guys.
Okay, just want to give an update on getting punched in the face. I said I was done fucking crying on the internet. Here I am. But yeah, I'm going to the hospital. I feel like I'm probably, oh my god, it looks like I got a fucking devil horn. Honestly, that's kind of fitting. Anyway, yeah, I was just walking on the sidewalk and my head was down and I was like looking at my phone, just sending an email, but there was so much room on the sidewalk and like literally nobody was around. And I guess this man, I don't know if he punched me or if he owed me. I literally passed out. So I don't really remember, but I think he just was really mad that my head was down. He was walking a dog. So he took it upon himself to body check me and let me know to be conscious of my surroundings.
You guys probably remember that. Now, I don't have any stories to say about Sophia. That's probably why I don't recognize her or know her, because there are no like, she didn't get punched in the face and she didn't buy a car, Range Rover, and a house in the Hamptons on the same day and influence everyone to become an influencer. But Halley's dating a guy called Reed right now, and they've been dating for a while, but they broke up in November. Like, I don't know how else to explain November, like the last November that just happened. So they were dating, then they broke up, and about like a week or two after they broke up, Sophia slides into his DMs and asks him to go on a date. Okay, and Sophia and Halley are kind of friends. According to Halley, they are friends, not besties, not like, but they're friends, friendly, run in the same circles, they have mutual friends. This was gonna get back to Halley at some point, okay? And so Sophia slides into his DMs and is like, hey, I heard you were single, do you wanna go on a date? And he has enough awareness to say, it's a bit cheeky of you to ask me on a date, considering I'm friends with Halley and it's gonna get back to her. And she essentially just didn't care. Like, she was almost getting a kick out of the fact that she was not stealing this guy because they were broken up, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just not very girl of her. And at the time, Halley was posting a bunch of TikToks about being single, and then suddenly she started posting TikToks about this girl that like wronged her. A lot of it was lip syncing to songs that would signify what's going on. Let's just play a few of these TikToks actually for you guys for context. Let me not play copyrighted music actually while I'm here. So she says, guys, as much as this is a horrible situation, please do not send anyone hate. This is just me sharing my experience, which I have every right to, but an excessive amount of people saying mean things will get us nowhere. I'm embarrassed this is even online, to be honest. I never would have brought it to social media if it wasn't for the fact that people started making videos, and I feel like I need to explain. After the pod today, I will never talk about the situation. Trust me. Then she posted this one. Once again, copyrighted music, but I'm pretty sure this is one of those Taylor Swift songs that's like, I keep my side of the street clean, you wouldn't know what it means. I hope everyone liked that reenactment. I just don't want to I feel like my singing was so good, I'll get copyrighted anyway. So that's that. So I was obviously very pointed at both parties there. And then we have this one, which actually the sound on that has been removed. Podcast is up. Explain the whole situation, and then we are never talking about it again. Don't send anyone hate, just hear me out on the pod. And the podcast episode about it is from 8 months ago. It's on the channel called Delusional Diaries, and it's with Halley and Jazz, who's her friend. They talk about it in here in full details. If you guys want any of the context, here it is. But I will play some of it for you guys now, just the bits that I found particularly interesting.
There was a TikTok account that was posting about how it was true, and then I felt very embarrassed, like I need to say something, I need to speak my truth. I feel it's my job to say what happened. I mean, it literally is my job. I share my life online, and how am I supposed to avoid those questions?
Yeah. So we're at dinner on a Thursday night. Assigned to me at this influencer dinner. It's Mindy, cancel podcast. She loves.
So Mindy, if you guys don't know the context of that, obviously Brooke Schofield, when she was first brought onto the scene by Tana Mojo, is because Brooke Schofield hooked up with a guy that Tana was seeing, or like had been seeing in the past. And when Tana made the story time about it, she called her Mindy, and then obviously they rekindled after that, and now they have the cancel podcast. And so in this podcast, they're referring to Sophia as Mindy, but it is Sophia, just in case anyone was confused about the context of that. There's the context. One of us has to be chronically online, and it's going to be me.
Brooke, this is no shade to her. We're just using a fake name.
Yes. So it's Mindy, it's me, it's Halley. We're chatting all night. We're talking about like the trip we went on, how much fun we had. Like we should start hanging out more. She's being so nice. We go to drop off stuff at Halley's apartment. We're like, let's just go out like now. So she leaves stuff at Halley's apartment. We go to the bar. We drink, pick shots together, talk about the whole situation. Yeah, we're vibing, whatever. That's on Thursday.
And yeah, I would consider her a friend, not super close friend. I do not think that she owes me that much loyalty, honestly. Again, we'll get into all of it, but like she's not my best friend by any means, and she is a person that I guess technically it would not be the worst thing on the planet for her to go on a date with my ex if it wasn't given this situation. Yeah.
So Friday, you get a message saying, hey, your ex is out.
The next day, we were at the dinner Thursday. The next day, that next night, I get messages on Instagram, comments, tags, mentions, hey, like, your ex and Mindy are on a date together. And again, mind you, it hadn't even been 3 weeks since we had broken up, so I was quite shocked to hear this, but I did not believe it. I literally was like, oh, that is so fake.
There's
like,
no way.
I called Jazz and was like, people are sending me this, and I did find it weird that multiple people were saying it, so that's where I was like, that is odd, but I think one person said it, and then somebody is just perpetuating a lie, and like, whatever.
So, I, being my nosy self, check his Instagram following, her Instagram following. I have no fucking shame. I'm nosy. Everyone fucking knows me nosy. I mean, everyone's fucking business. And they're not following. I'm like,
they're not following.
I'm like, this definitely not true.
Not true.
Next morning, I get a call from Halley. I was asleep. It's like 8:30. Then I wake up. I'm like, check in, following. I'm like, oh my god, they actually are following each other.
Like within the span of Friday night to Saturday morning, they have followed each other.
So Thursday, they're like buddies. They're going out for drinks. Blah blah. Friday, she finds out they've gone on a date, and then Saturday, they're now both following each other on Instagram. World-shattering, breaking stuff. I know. This is like breaking news, okay? So, this podcast goes on to explain basically the further details of it all. Since then, Halley has gotten back with Reed. Yeah, they post like a TikTok trend about like, oh, we're back together, basically. And it was funny, it was quirky, it was cool. And this was in like April. And so now, Sophia's taken it upon herself to post a 3-part Get Ready With Me story time about it. And I actually haven't watched it because I wanted to keep the element of surprise for both of us. So I'm going to watch it now, if you guys don't mind. I'm going to put it 1.5 speed. You guys know the deal. Otherwise, I won't sit through it.
Let's do red carpet, full glam. I tell you about the time a girl I met maybe 3 times canceled me and got me destroyed on the internet. When I say destroyed, I mean like, I'm glad it happened to me because I genuinely wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I had probably like 1,000 to 3,000 DMs a day telling me to... I'm going to start the story at the date with this man who was very sweet. He lives about 10 minutes away from me in New York, and he took me out to this beautiful, beautiful restaurant, and we had such a great date that we wanted to get drinks afterwards. We got drinks at this really, really nice hotel lobby, and it was so much fun, and I genuinely remember being, like, so excited. I don't go on a lot of first dates, so it's really rare that you get a good first date. I remember on the first date, we were about to leave the bar, so we both went to the restroom, and he turned around and grabbed me and kissed me, and I remember, like, I had butterflies, like,
I think recalling this whole story and how like madly in love she was with this guy is so strange, considering first of all why she got cancelled, and then two, the fact that Reed and Halley are now back together. Like, I think it's such a weird time to recall how butterflies you felt about this whole thing. Like, to me it's weird, it's weirdo behavior, but I don't know.
Before. He was super talkative, super fun, and so sweet and very masculine. Everything about him was wonderful. At the end of the day, he put me in an Uber home, and then I went to bed, and I was just smiling ear to ear. I wake up in the morning, and I'm so excited to look at my phone because I know that this man is going to text me. Like, I know we both enjoyed the date. But instead, I look at my phone, and I see a message from a random number. The message said, "Hi, this is Haley. I'm getting DMs that you were on a date with my ex last night, LOL. I don't want to be weird, but is that true? Just want to know so I can tell people to stop commenting that." And then I didn't answer because, like, I just didn't, I don't know. And an hour later, she said, "I keep getting comments about it, and I can see that you're active on TikTok right now, so I guess I'm just going to take your silence as a yes." She took it as a yes. I don't answer either of those messages because I don't feel like I have to. He's single, and she literally had to introduce herself over text. I've never had a one-on-one conversation with her. I've met her maybe 3 times through work. So finally, the person I want to texts me, and he comes over and brings me coffee before I have to go film. This man and I are just hanging out and chilling until I have to go to work, and his phone starts going crazy. I see the name, and it's her. So I figured he should handle it because it's his ex, and it's not really my problem. And I was like, "Is this okay? Like, what's going on?" And he said, "Oh yeah, it's nothing, it's fine. Like, she's never brought your name up once ever since we were ever dating, so like, it's not a problem." And I was like, okay, like, cool. I really wasn't worried at all because I knew I did nothing wrong. I figured I'd just let him handle it because it's his ex and none of my business, really. He went downstairs when it was time for me to go to work, and I get in my Uber, and I look at my phone one more time, and guess what? She started posting about me. The video she posted about me immediately got hundreds of thousands of views within hours, and she made sure everyone knew it was about me. Go to part 2 if you want to hear more of this.
Part 2.
So she posted a TikTok about me. You know, it was just her lip syncing a song. It was directed towards me, but I thought it was like, whatever, you know, you went on a date. I totally get that. I feel for her.
So the TikTok she's referring to is the Taylor Swift Karma one. Now, I don't know how she would have made it super obvious that it was about Sophia. I think she knows that it was specific about herself because obviously she did it. But I, watching that in like retrospect, don't think it was too pointed. Other than the fact that obviously gossip pages were already talking about it. And it's not like Halley came out with it to begin with and was like, "Guys, you won't believe what happened." It was on the New York City influencer snark. Like, people were like, "Oh my god, did you guys see that Reed was on a date with Sophia?" Like, you know, like it was already spread by people, so obviously she would have talked about it. I don't know. I'm not like being biased here. I don't care for either of them, but that's my opinion.
You know, we've all been there. We've all been a girl that, you know, a guy takes someone else on a date and, you know, maybe makes you sad a little bit. I figured it was totally okay because, you know, it's really not about me. It wasn't on my phone at all the entire day because I was filming a short film. I go on my phone and I realized this was about me. And the story that was told was not true and it was not good. Here's where it gets messy. She said, "Ladies, let me be your lesson. Never feel sorry for a man or defend him because not even 3 weeks after dumping you out of the blue, after you try to protect him, he would go on a date with someone you considered a friend." Girl. She said considered a friend because she knows that I've met her 3 times, never hung out with her one-on-one, and I didn't have her number. That's why she said, "Hi, it's Haley." And we're with the night before buying shots for. We're at an influencer event. A bunch of people went to a bar afterward, and we all bought a round of shots. How you do with work people. She then says her bag is literally sitting in my closet because we dropped it off at my apartment before going to the bar together. None of that happened. I have never been inside of her apartment, and I would never leave my purse anywhere. The bag that she is referring to is a gift bag from the work event that we all went to, and she said she was going to donate everyone's gift bag, so.
But to be letting me pay for your fucking tequila shot, standing next to me while going through my Instagram following, searching my ex-boyfriend's name to DM him and ask him on a date. And how pathetic is he to go?
I never DM anyone while I'm standing next to anyone, ever. So that's just all a complete lie, and it made the world.
So on the screen it actually says he planned our date probably about a week before I happened to run into her at a work event. Now these are 2 very different sides of the story. Obviously Hattie's saying, I hung out with you at like an influencer event on Thursday, Friday, you're on a date with my ex, Saturday, you guys are following each other on Instagram. And then she's saying, "I don't know you. We were at a work event, you're one of my colleagues, we got shots afterwards with a bunch of people. I didn't go back to your apartment, I didn't leave my purse at your apartment. You took like work bags from everyone and had them at your apartment. And he also planned our date a week before I ran into you at a work event." The only thing I find shady, a little bit, is if you knew you were going on a date with her ex, maybe don't be super friendly with her. Like, I'm not saying be mean, but maybe also like don't hang out with her after this work event at drinks. I don't know, maybe that's what I would have done. So I would have just felt so, I don't know what hair I was flicking up. I just would have felt really awkward about that, but that's just my, I don't know, that's my problem.
hate me. By no means am I laughing at her. I totally get being upset over a man. I understand how bad it could hurt. I'm just laughing because none of that happened. Go to part 3 for like the rest of this.
Out? Because I'm just running up her engagement. You're welcome for that, girl. At least turn on the creator fund and get your bag out of this. But I think that's what she wants. Like, I think that she likes that people are commenting that. It's really sick and weird.
Let's read some of the comments that I apparently wanted. Isn't it your job to be likable? You're a walking red mother trucking flag, looking rough. After all of the lies and the craziness, this man and I were still hanging out, and he's still so nice and so fun. In person, we got some attention, and it wasn't good. One night we were at a bar, he went to the bathroom, and this girl tried to fight me and was screaming homewrecker. And it never stopped. I think I went on 4 or 5 dates with this man total. He was so sweet, so wonderful. I think I realized he was maybe not the one for me, and it kind of just dwindled. It was like, whatever. Yeah, but I think he's great. I guess the moral of the story.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Apparently, Brie talked about it. I don't really know what Brie said, but she said this was really icky and not respectful. They're back together and you make this video for what? The views must be low. Let's try to remember, be demure, mindful, and cutesy. Yeah, this was not very demure, in my opinion. Wow, I've never heard from the perspective of a villain. He's the most mid-man ever. There is no way you would have dated him if Halley didn't first, so therefore you are not a girl's girl because that was obviously intentional. People acting like you're super in the wrong for doing this. If Halley didn't get on a podcast and excuse her boyfriend's behavior and say you deserve the hate, thank you, yes, yes, is what she responded. Someone said, wait, but what about the your ex looked better on me comment? And she said it was just funny. Okay. And apparently Brie talks about it. Let me actually just look this up. This is like breaking news in the moment. I'm finding some extra tea. Okay.
Imagine you like go out a few times with this person. They only know of your boyfriend through you or your ex-boyfriend through you. They've seen you publicly be upset on social media about the breakup because you think that he just randomly broke up with you out of nowhere.
Now, this is actually an important point that Brie is making. Like, Reed isn't an influencer. He's only really known in public because of his association with Halley. So it's like Sophia literally wouldn't have known of him if she had known Halley, right? Because he's not an influencer. So it's not like she was already following him or they all ran in the same circles. Like, she only knew of him because he was Halley's ex. So she literally went through Halley's following and went, oh my God, she's finally broken up with her boyfriend. I want to get with him, right? Because he's not an influencer.
The only way she knows who this man is because she goes to your tag photos and then she DMs him when you guys randomly break up and you're the acquaintances. She DMs him and says, want to go on a date. First of all, you can never catch me asking a man on a date. No, good for you, go get her. I'm joking. Just don't do that. But anyways, the weirdest part is that you know that he's recently had a relationship with someone that you have recently hung out with. You only know of him because of this girl. Bro, you live in New York City and you're pretty. Anyone else. And why would you want to go for a man that seemingly just randomly breaks up with his girlfriend out of nowhere? Her, I'm convinced also, she must have just hated Halley Kate when they went out together. She must have been like, this is so annoying. So it seems like she was for anything. She was just waiting for it. She was waiting to get home and DM her ex-boyfriend. That's a petty girl. And the pettiness just keeps showing because she waited for Halley Kate to be getting hate. Halley Kate went on a podcast with her boyfriend, and I guess her boyfriend wasn't very talkative, and everyone was like, your boyfriend hates you, Halley, get the fuck out, run. The redhead sees this and goes on TikTok to talk about a date that she went on a year ago. She goes on to talk about how magical the date was, how beautiful the date was. He took me to a beautiful restaurant. Every restaurant in New York is beautiful, and you asked him on the date. It was so beautiful, it was magical, he was so talkative. She was using every word to contradict what everyone is saying about him online with Halley. It was just so magical, he was so handsome and talkative, and it was just beautiful. While everyone online is being like, Halley, he doesn't talk, he doesn't want to talk to you, has nothing to say. Be more obvious. Be more obvious in what you're doing. If you're gonna be a psycho crazy, at least be low-key about it. At least be smart about it. That's why I'm convinced it's rage bait and she's just insane. But to think you see an opportunity where, okay, this girl that I don't like and I clearly am in love with her boyfriend is getting a little bit of hate. Let me try to accentuate the hate or make the hate worse by coming on and telling my story, when telling your story is just airing out how of a person you are. Yeah, maybe Halley Kate's response or when she first made the videos were annoying and you were annoyed with it, but you were the one that you did the bad. You did the weird. You were the weirder one in the situation. And to be
I completely agree with Brie. There's been takes that she's had where I'm like, oh, let's cut that out. But this one is spot on. Oh, this is the TikTok I was talking about. Didn't you guys break up? This is the drama. I have presented it to you guys now. You guys can be left with the information. Let me know everything that you guys think about it because I'm invested. I love little silly dramas and I know you guys do too. So subscribe to the bell icon for engagement. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.